Aloha, Aflansha. Hey, now you're getting in the spirit, Nick. Oh, aloha, Aflan Sharks. We are live. You know, it's so funny, Nick. I was just so earlier this morning. I was interviewed on our buddies' podcast, the Delicious Marketing Guys,
Love
Drew
those
and
guys.
David. Yeah, so they have a podcast called Delicious Marketing, and I think they're kind of doing a relaunch of it. And so anyway, they interviewed me this morning, and before we started going on the interview, I was talking to them about I think what we need to start is, you know how everybody has hashtag thug life? Like we should do hashtag Q life for quarantine life. And you could have pictures of wrapped up in a blanket on the couch with Twizzlers watching Netflix. And it'd be hashtag Q life. You know, we could totally make it a thing. I think we should do it.
Just go ahead and tell everybody how you've been cuddled up on the couch with Twizzlers in your blanket for the last 4 weeks.
I have
I know that's what you really want to say.
I told Nick the other day, I have been for whatever reason, I have had this Twizzler craving, and so I've been eating Twizzlers every night. I can't get away from it. It's nuts.
What's been your quarantine snack, go-to snack? Everybody that's with us, I'm curious. For me, I've been eating a lot of trail mix. I don't know why, but it's been my go-to snacks. You do?
Yeah, a lot of almonds, and almonds are good.
What's everyone's go-to snack? Jacqueline's talking about our quarantine beards. Q beards, they're called.
I said I wasn't going to do it. I accused Cameron and Nick of being mind-numb robots for growing out beards like everybody else, and then I did it anyway.
Look, Marvin says you're trying to look like me.
What's so funny is when I grow a beard, I still have to shave because I get really super hairy. So I have to shave my neck. I got to shave up here. I got to keep it trimmed. It'll get super bushy.
That's what happens when you're part Sasquatchian.
Yeah, this is only 2 days right here.
Damn. Jason says smokehouse almonds. Those things are.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Really good.
What I've been doing is I get the big bag of roasted almonds from Costco. They're Kirkland signature roasted almonds. Yeah, I love those. And those are a good keto snack. So, Jacqueline, Twizzlers are they're like a candy. They're they're licorice. They're licorice. So, but it's a licorice brand, which, that's interesting because it's kind of like Kleenex, right? Twizzlers, really, they're licorice, but everybody calls them by their name. There's a lesson in branding right there. That's positioning. If you ever wondered what is positioning, that's positioning. Whenever you think of something and you think of Twizzlers and not think of licorice, that's positioning. Yeah. But they're I think they have a cherry. They're a cherry flavored licorice. And my favorite ones they have the pull and peels. They're super thick and little strand. Oh, I love those.
Look at Tom getting into it. I love this. And the way the way it crackles when you open it up.
I have 5 packages in the cabinet right now. I could go grab one and eat some right now. Ooh, that's a good one. Cameron said dark chocolate covered espresso beans. I had some of those the other day. Those were really good.
Yep, those are really good, and they give you a little kick too.
Yeah, Daryl says red vine. Yeah, red vines are really good. I actually like black licorice, and I like the black red vine. I think black red vines are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Okay, cool. Well,
chocolate raisins. Jacqueline said chocolate raisins. Amy says, yeah, I love the pull and peel. Yeah.
Frank wants to know if you're in your new office.
No, this is the same office. So the books that you normally see me sitting at my desk, which is, it's over this way. And the books are behind me. I can kind of turn the screen and you'll see the books and everything over there. But I just moved myself over to another little area and set up a little standing area so I could stand up.
Jeff said, I told the wife unit I need a new belt soon. She suggested an asteroid belt. That's great.
That's awesome. I saw Nick the other day. Normally when I stand up, it's like this. But this is a nice short stand.
You crack me up.
Well, I have my great sign back there, our Pinky and the Brain sign. Stay calm and try to take over the world.
Yep, that's us. So yeah, let's jump into this stuff. Let me close out all these stupid Messenger messages. They keep popping up. The one thing about Messenger is like if you have a Facebook tab open, the Messenger's just bing, 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 and they like, oh, and you open the tab and it's just so slow and you got to close all these tabs and they, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's like the worst.
So Lynn said we're slap happy secluded.
That's right. We are.
Yeah.
So cool. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. A lot of updates with what we've been doing. We got a lot of great shout outs. So I think we should jump right into those real quick. So let me share my screen here. Everybody ready for some shout outs? Are we going to, we sent out some shark shirts, I believe. And I think we should send out some more. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think we should. We should give away some shark shirts. I saw a great one that somebody had. I don't know. Can shirts be copyrighted? Like, because I saw one guy, he had one on the other day. It said 247365, and then had his little logo right under it. That'd be a good one for us.
Yeah, we need some good shirt ideas. If you guys have any good shirt ideas and you post them in the Facebook group,
we might use one. We'll send you a shirt.
We'll send you a shirt. We'll probably send you something else too, just for helping us out. But yeah, I mean, that would be funny too, right? If we could get like a little poll or a contest going in the group for the best graphic logo or shirt design idea, saying, quote, whatever. Yeah, I think that'd be great. This is our current setup, right? We've just got the basic general stuff. So we'll be giving a couple of these away today. And yeah, let's just jump over the shout outs real quick. So our first shout out goes to Ron Cunningham. He sold his first fashion store in Philadelphia. He sold a fashion store in Philadelphia, a website, then Google My Business and Facebook and listings. Now she wants a directory site. The money is getting good for ladies this fashion season. That's funny. That's awesome, Ron. I mean, way to do like one thing, right? Come in one way and just sell multiple things to people. Walk them up that value ladder. I mean, we see that happen all the time with what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that, Jeff, with all the money.
Yeah. It's one thing about Ron is he's like always doing the stuff that really matters, which is he's always out there prospecting, right? He's always out there talking to businesses in one way or another, whether it's, pre-COVID-19, he's walking around with flyers and dropping them off when he stops at different stores and restaurants and just places that he goes about. I'm sure he's dropping off business cards too. But even in our current situation, right, a great example of somebody still prospecting, he had a couple of AGM sites already set up that he was positioned to be able to use right now. So, yeah, good job, Ron. Jason's asking if we can do a design challenge. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We should probably do a little bit of a design challenge, Jason.
Let's do one. Cameron, let's make a note to get with Shushan on that.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried this. It's called Waterloo. It's pretty good. Sparkling water, but it's really good.
I like the grape.
The grape is good. The black cherry is really good too.
Yeah, the black cherry is pretty good.
And then let's jump over to the next one, which is Jeremy Peetman. 3 websites sold. I think he sold 3 websites in 2 weeks. 2 weeks?
Congrats. Yeah, it has been amazing to watch, Jeremy. That is freaking awesome. And like doing it in the current environment, like just moving forward, right? Taking action and like, look what's happening. Like, I think so, it really is an opportunity right now because the competition really is not as big right now as it normally is because so many people are just waiting to see what's going to happen and they're pulling back. And if you're not one of those people, if you continue to move forward, It's good.
Yeah. And he's using the badges, right? That badge, everybody, that you see there that Jeremy's using, we have a page on our website. If you ever get a client, or when you get a client, or when you move them through different things, like 5 clients or websites, or you use one of our products, you can go to the page, right? offlinesharks.com/badges, and you can grab one of these badges and share it in the group.
Yeah, so we can celebrate. Yeah, there's badges in there just for completing some of our courses, which I know a lot of you have done. So you share those badges too. It's not all about, just the client getting side of things, also going through the content and stuff like that. I saw Jeremy even made he had something the other day I saw in the group was really great because he got like a recommendation or something and there wasn't a badge for it. So he made his own badge. I was hilarious. I love it.
That's funny. So that's the link, everybody. Jeremy, he cracks me up. So yeah, so those of you that have like our different courses, right? You can get a couple of badges. And I want to start.
We don't need no stinking badges.
I want to start. I know we gave Jeremy a prize last week for the badge, but I want to do something else. For those of you that start using the badges, we're gonna do something random. Like we'll pick a random person that posts one of the badges in the group and give them a gift on the next Shark training. Or Shark jam session. So Shashan, if you could help us make a note in our show notes for next week and keep an eye on the people that are posting badges, but we want to verify that you're doing whatever you're posting, right? We want to keep it legit. And then if you could select one person at random who posts a badge in the week period, and we'll do a announcement on the next jam session and give them a awesome gift. So those of you that are taking action and doing things, go to this page, get your badges out, share them in the group. We want to share in your success. I think that'd be a great way to do it. What do you guys think?
I think that's an awesome idea.
Cool. I got a lot of awesome ideas. Let's see. So let me jump over here. I think this is our, let me pull up my notes. So this is our popular post of the week. And this is Mr. Jason Gale, who's been really helping us out in the group lately. I mean, there's been so much activity, so much going on, and I've really noticed that he's been helping us out. So I really appreciate that, Jason. I mean, I've really been noticing that. So hats off to you, sir. And also, congrats on this this new AGM site that you built. Somebody was asking about what an AGM site is. So why don't we just pull Jason's up real quick? So this is our strategy, what we've been doing to prospect, get in front of decision makers, business owners right now in the current market, right? So this is our tool, our software that we've built, we've created. We have members that are using it, and they are quickly able to create these websites that allow them to help just give exposure to businesses in specific areas. So this one is all about the, what do they call it? MMJ, medical marijuana.
Yeah, he's targeting that market there with their dispensaries and things like that. So
yeah, we just got, I mean, a ton of people going after this industry specifically because there's so much money in it. There's so many people that, dispensaries that are opening up, places where people can pick up this stuff and, to come in right now in this new industry, this new trend, I guess you could call it, and have a resource where people can quickly find all the places in their area where they can get this. I think Shannon has like a $30,000 a year business just offering listings on his site. Like he's making, I saw like one of his posts said that he has 55 premium listings, anywhere from $299 to $499 that he sold people. Those are all annual listings. What's his website, Tom?
His is called Green Deals.
Green Deals with a Z?
Yeah.
Of course. Wait. Green.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, let me type it in.
Wait. No, that's not it.
It's greendealsaz.com.
And we just removed that animation, so you guys should update your themes. We wanted to get rid of that because it was kind of creating an issue. But this is Arizona's local MMJ directory, right? Let me hide this badge real quick. Maybe you can talk about this one a little bit, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, like, we show this site in, whenever we do our trainings and stuff for the Agency Growth Machine, because again, this is a really versatile platform that we created, right? And there's lots of different ways that you can go about this. So, Shannon was really the first to kind of apply it to a emerging market that wasn't really like, that really didn't have to do with local marketing specifically, right? Like, he's providing marketing services and exposure to these types of businesses. So this is just, nobody else was doing this. He saw an opportunity in the market, and he became the first one to put one up in Arizona, and like, it really took off. Whenever you're the first in a space, it always really helps. This obviously isn't the only approach that works, right? Like, you can apply this thinking to any other really niche that you want. Like, we have one in the home services niche, which I think right now, like, I know we talk a lot about the restaurants because that's the one that we're focusing on and that we're doing right now. But, a home services, a directory around home services would really kill it in this current environment as well, because those businesses are still open. They're still going along. And, some of those businesses, like a lot of those home services places, they don't have a website. Like, think about that. If you were a home service business and you didn't have a website, which a lot of them don't here on Maui, they've never needed one, right? Now, all of a sudden they're in this COVID-19 thing, and not having a website is a huge hindrance to what they're trying to do. So if you come along and had a solution where, hey, look, I can get you some exposure online. We're promoting this to the local community. We're getting the word out about this. Like, that would be a huge value proposition to them, because they don't have to build a website. They don't have to do anything like that, right? Like, they just have a listing on your site. So, doing that same strategy of going around, giving them, premium listings, that kind of stuff would really work in this niche as well. We just, like with anything, and as we'll talk about in the what we're reading section, it kind of ties into this, but you really have to kind of pick your battles, right? There's so many different ideas. There's so many ways that you can go about it. And we were just talking to our private coaching students about this in their session yesterday. It's really easy. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I'm super guilty of this, of just so many things, so many possibilities, that I want to try to do everything. And it's such a super critical part of growing a successful business to be able to just pick one thing and focus on it, right? And just move one thing forward at a time. So, while there may be a gazillion, avenues and ways you can go, like, just pick one and move forward. And, we decided to do that with the restaurant thing. So now, as the restaurant thing has gotten traction and stuff like that, Nick and I have been talking about, okay, now what's next, right? Like, we've got one thing in place. It's got traction. It's getting results. Okay, now how can we build on that? What's something else we can do? How can we expand that out? And that is the proven success formula. And I know a lot of people just think it just is hard to do that, right? Because you have so many ideas. You want to try so many different things, but you just really have to pick one thing, start with it, and move forward from there.
Yeah, and I mean, there are a lot of people right now, like Tom mentioned, home service business owners that are still looking to, get more customers. I mean, I have a carpet cleaner who reached out to me a couple of days ago, and he wants to ramp up what he's doing, but he wants to know how he can do it with what's going on, right? So he's asking me, because he knows I know a thing or two about marketing. He's asking me, how can he set himself apart? How can he do something different right now? So carpet cleaning, I had an HVAC. In fact, I have to do something for an HVAC company, set them up with some new emails, right, for their new email account. because they're bringing more people onto their team right now, because HVAC companies, depending on where you are, if it's hot or if it's cold, but here, you know, there are so much more people that are actually in their houses using their air conditioning, where, you know, I mean, they're using it so much like never before, where a lot of things are malfunctioning and they're being overused in comparison to, you know, how much they were before. Any of you that have had that happen, you know, if you don't use an AC machine for a long time and then all of a sudden you just fire one up for a month straight, you're going to have some broken parts, right? So these guys, just the wear and tear, they're having this huge spike in business, this huge spike in just volume. So, you know, there are these emerging markets that are really important to, you know, just kind of keep your eyes out, get aware, keep your eyes open, get aware of what's going around you. Jason says roofers, landscapers, HVAC. Exactly. Picked up a fire, water, and restoration company.
Can I say something on the HVAC thing? Because I thought this was really interesting. So a couple of weeks ago, I noticed I forget what I was doing, but on the radio, a commercial came on for an HVAC company, and the way that they shifted their marketing message during this time was they focused their commercial on the filters and how the filters take, you know, unwanted bacteria out of the air, like take things out. And then one of the things they mentioned was, and I didn't even know that HVAC places had this kind of technology, but it was like, I guess there's like a UV lighting thing that you can put in a central air unit that kills bacteria and unwanted debris as it comes in. And so they were advertising that in their commercial, which I thought was super smart. But then just yesterday, I was scrolling through some news sites, and there was an article about how they may have found that UV kills the COVID-19. And so I thought, wow, those two things, like paying attention to what's going on and looking for stuff, that's where you get these connections and you go, oh, that would be a great thing to approach these HVAC companies about. Like, are you telling your customers that you have this option and that you do this? And if you're not, you should be. Right. And I think that's really, really critical. Hey, I saw David just came on. Hey, David, we gave you guys a shout out there at Delicious Marketing at the beginning of the show. So welcome. I had a lot of fun on the interview today.
Yeah, I'm working on, man, those guys, they have such a nice stream set up. Like, I was telling David the other day, David looks like he's like in a GQ magazine every time I see a stream. It's just so clean, so clean and crisp. He's got like the perfect mantelpiece in the background with all the perfect little like statues and plants and stuff. I mean, look at this.
I like Drew's really old computer that sits on the shelf behind him. He's got like the really old computer thing that sits back there. Like, it's
right. Awesome. Let's see. Where do we leave off there? We were talking about we
were talking about HVAC and home services. I did see somebody anyway, so I think that, I mean, that's another niche, another market that I think would be good to target. I did see somebody was asking about, like, is it okay to have businesses on a waiting list? And I think that ties in really perfect to what we're talking about now, because yes, like one of the key things that we're doing with our restaurant angle for this whole thing and targeting restaurants is building a list. Like, we really kind of went into this, I mean, to be really transparent, not really expecting to close a lot of deals with what we were doing, you know, right now, but we had this idea that, like, look, when things start to lift, we'll be able to close deals, because now we'll have this list of people. They'll know who we are. They'll be familiar with us. Like, we're not just going in cold. So we really started that strategy to do that. Now, much to our, I don't know if it's luck or surprise, whatever, like, we started closing some deals. So, you know, that's really good. But I think if you're, you know, if your agency is built around a niche that currently cannot operate and do business, then you should absolutely be trying to build a list. Like, think of some way that you can start to reach those people and get something going for when things start to kind of open up. Because, you know, there's a lot of rumblings online now, like that, you know, things are going to have to start to open back up. Like, this you know, what we're in right now is not sustainable, you know? And so at some point we're just going to have to bite the bullet and start to reopen things. And, you could be positioned in a way to help people when that starts to happen.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And so that was Jason had that was our popular post of the week. Well, I'm going to jump over to the popular question that was asked. Let me pull that up for you. So Cheryl asked, is a new Google API needed for each AGM site? And that's a really good question. And the answer is no, it's not. You can use the same API for as many sites as you want. And another note about that. So the thing about the API, right, is that Google gives you, I think it's a $200 or a $300 credit just for turning one on. And I've never, ever used all of the free credit they give you when it comes to adding listings to my site. It's like, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's really difficult because of how inexpensive it is to add the listings. So, I mean, you basically don't really, I mean, there's no other cost needed when you're importing these listings, unless you're one of those people that adds thousands of listings. Maybe someone on the call could share their experience if they've ever broke the threshold for the free credit that they give you, how many listings that actually is. Maybe somebody like Jason has done it, but I've never done it. So yeah, you can use the same API key. Great question, Cheryl. And then
We haven't given away a shirt yet.
We haven't given away a shirt yet. I got our member of the week coming up. We're going to give that person a shirt.
I don't think Cheryl didn't get one last week, right? Let's give one to Cheryl for her popular question.
Cheryl, are you with us today, Cheryl?
I hope you're on here, Cheryl.
I hope you're on here. We'll try to get your information. Let's give one to Cheryl. And then, let's see. We need to come up with like a list of good questions to ask people too, like bonus questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
somebody
I have a couple if we want to just ask a question for somebody.
Yeah, fire away.
Well, we'll do it towards the end when we talk about some other things. They're kind of related to some other things. Okay. They're related to some other things we're going to talk about. So.
Okay. All right. Here's another great question. Let me pull it up from one of our awesome sharks. And it's from Zachary. And so he asked that he has a business partner who had a restaurant owner who needed 3 websites rebuilt a year ago. We were able to make him a demo for his first website. He loved the website, but my ex-partner overquoted for the project. My question is, should I approach him with a restructured proposal and demo of my own? He didn't know I was involved, so it'd be even better. The current restaurant website, he gives an example. He says, P.S. if you can tell, it has no SSL and it looks very outdated. Thank you. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think Zachary should do in that situation? I know a lot of you have already commented on this, but maybe we can get some of your feedback, and I'll tell you what I
know what I would do.
What would you do?
I'd reach out to him.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, yeah.
The business partner or the customer?
I'd reach out to the customer and just be like, hey, look, I've went out on my own. I'm doing this. I've been working with clients, and, I came across this old deal we had, and, I would be able, if you wanted to revisit this, this is what we could do if you're open to it.
Yeah. Do you think that he still has them as a potential prospect, or he's just going to, I'm a little confused on the question. Like, his partner overquoted the project, but did he build the website too and it didn't come out very good? Or
did the guy just never follow through because the price was high? Right.
So I think that's what he did. I think the guy overquoted and they didn't take him up on that offer, right?
Yeah.
So I would 100% reach back out to them and be like, hey, I can build you something for within your budget is what I would say. What is your budget? But how much can you afford to get something else out there? Because it looks like you're really outdated. You don't have an SSL. I have the capability of being able to create something that's probably within your budget. What is your budget? That way I can give you the best possible website within that budget, right? I think that's the best way to do it. Yes, the guy overquoted and he got rejected. Exactly. So,
and Zach, I mean, like, we're kind of working on the assumption that your relationship with your previous business partner, that wouldn't do any damage to that, or in any way be construed as like, you doing something sneaky. Like, I definitely wouldn't be sneaky about it. You know what I mean? Like, if if you need to run it by your previous partner or whatever, I would do that. Like, we're not suggesting that you, especially if it were a current client of your partner's, then I would not recommend you reach out. Like,
yeah,
I mean, don't do anything that wouldn't be, that's not going to make you feel good ethically, right?
Right.
You have a good feel for that, Zach.
And that's a really good topic to talk about real quick, just to touch on. And I think it's one of the things that both Tom and I, we're lucky because we share a lot of the same feelings about ethics when it comes to business and how to work with people, right? And how to take care of customers. And when it comes to doing things that aren't so transparent, like we pretty much see eye to eye. Like we just don't do that stuff. And I think it's gone a long way for us. Like we hear from people, associates that we work with, that, they appreciate when we just tell them straight up, even if something's bad, we just tell them, and, we're honest and truthful. And I think it goes a long way. It's something that people can pick up within your business. So I would recommend, like, while you're building your business, even when you're faced with uncomfortable, difficult situations, like, honesty is the best policy. Right, Tom? Honesty is the best policy. And sometimes it's not easy. Yeah. And communication
and honesty. Being honest and just communicating is super critical.
Right. And it goes, I mean, to build a sustainable business, one that lasts, it's so important. I can't even stress that enough. Sometimes it sucks having to go to a customer and saying, like, I broke your website. It's down right now. It's broken. But here's what I'm going to do to fix it. Or here's what we can do. Like, nobody likes having that conversation, but, it's better than leaving it broken until they figure out about it and then they're pissed at you, right? That'd be a good example of what I'm talking about here. So think about that, because we're all faced with these types of situations when you're going through and just getting started with business. I know we have a lot of people that are just getting started now. So
yeah, and people do ask us all the time about, like, work. I get asked a lot about how it is working with a partner and how that came about and all that stuff. And one of the things that I would say, like, when you're working with a business partner, obviously it's important to have clear guidelines and a clear, that everybody is on the same page about how things are divvied up, about, how you handle certain situations. As you continue to work with people, though, I think that kind of, that dynamic shifts a little. I know, like, as Nick and I have continued to work longer and longer together, I am not so, I think more about, like, the value I can bring and not so much about the value that Nick brings in return, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It's kind of like with the marriage, like, I used to think being married was like a 50-50 deal. Then I realized, like, no, it's not a 50-50 deal. Like, my job is to bring more than 50% to the relationship and to the thing and all that stuff. And the more I do that, the better the relationship gets. It turns out it's the same way with a business partner. Like, obviously business is a little different because you're talking money and different things like that. And, you do have to have those lines and be clear on, what's expected of everybody and how things are done. But you also want to really focus on how do you bring the most value to that relationship. Yeah. I was just telling Miranda the other day, I think when people ask me how we met, I'm going to change our story and be like, I was at a WordPress meeting and I saw him across the room. Our eyes locked and I knew it was meant to be.
It was like a Star Wars moment when lightsabers hit each other. Jason says that he had a customer. He told them today that he was in over his head and he was bringing someone else in to handle the problem. And I'm sure they appreciated that. Like, I'm sure they had a sting thinking like, oh, I thought we figured this out. But I bet you they would be willing, or they're much more happy to know that you're putting fires out than trying to just sweep them under the rug, right?
People are so funny in the comments. Jeff said you should always end everything with your wife as yes, dear. I agree. Yes. Dorn said bromance.
Don't cross the streams.
I knew you were going to get some comments about the lightsaber thing. I was like, oh man, why do you say that? That's great.
Okay.
I did see somebody Frank asked a question about, he said, hey, Tom, can we see some psychological way as we go further with this pandemic? And I'm not sure what you're asking there, Frank. So maybe you can clarify on that question and let me know.
We actually have our member of the week on the call with us.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do our member of the week. And then let's do the what we're reading, and then we can talk about maybe give away another shirt to go along with what we're going to talk, what the other thing we need to talk about.
Cool.
It's hard to say it without saying it. It's like
okay, you guys, I want to introduce to you the member of the week. Let me see if I can hide the name here and just show you why this person was nominated for the member of the week. Nope, that's not going to work. So the person that is member of the week, Jason Gale.
Oh, Jason.
Most helpful member of the week, always chiming in and adding value and providing answers to other sharks on any questions they have. And I mean, I would 100% agree and agree to that statement, that assessment. So thank you, Jason. Much appreciated. This guy's been helping us out a lot in the group. And yeah, we want to send you a shirt, although you probably have plenty of shark shirts as it is. But we want to send you one. And yeah, man, keep up the good work. And we really do appreciate you.
Yeah, congratulations, Jason. Yeah, it's awesome to see your interaction and stuff in there. And just your willingness to share what you're doing is really, I mean, that's great. Nick and I we were just talking about this the other day. Like, Jay Abram had this quote about how, like, if you know how to do something, if you've had even just a little bit of success with something, you have a moral obligation to help other people that are trying to do the same thing. And Jason does a really great example of that. And he does it without expecting anything in return, right? Just does it. So really awesome job, Jason.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you. Thank you for helping out. And honestly, it's been a stressful week for me. Just so many things going on, and you jumped in and helped out a lot with a lot of stuff in there. So much appreciated.
We appreciate it. So maybe we should do the what we're reading, and then
let's do it.
Let me find the what we're reading. So we have this what Tom and Nick are reading section, and we post these books on our website, so you can go there and see all the books we've recommended and things like that. And this week, I have a book by a gentleman by the name of Peter Sims, and it's called Little Bets: How Breakthrough Ideas Emerge from Small Discoveries. And this book really ties into what we were talking about earlier about, picking one thing and starting to move forward with it. And, what I found really super interesting about this book is, he looks at research and what other people do and how great ideas really come to be. And one of the things that he discovered is that most really great ideas, they didn't start off great. And what really successful people do, and some of the examples he uses in here are, well, this is just from the back. It says, what do Apple CEO Steve Jobs, comedian Chris Rock, prize-winning architect Frank Gehry, and the story developers at Pixar Films all have in common? So they make a methodical series of little bets, learning critical information from lots of little failures and from small but significant wins. And I know that has been super true in Nick and I's journey through all this is, you we try to figure out, okay, well, what's the thing that we can put out there? You put it out there and it works. It doesn't work. You adjust and you can keep moving forward. But you just do a little parts at a time. And eventually it starts to grow into something big. One of the things we talk about with the Agency Growth Machine websites is, how Facebook came to be Facebook, this big, gigantic company that you just kind of sometimes think where they were always big. They were always, always present, but they weren't. And, when Zuckerberg first started that whole thing, his target market was just students at Harvard. Like, you couldn't get on the Facebook, as he called it at the time, unless you were a student at Harvard. So he wasn't going after millions and millions of people. He was making a little bet in a market that he knew intimately in his own backyard. And then as it grew from there, like, his next thought wasn't even to take it to the masses. Like, his next thought was to just take it to other Ivy League universities, because that's what he knew, right? So they started going to other Ivy League universities. Then they opened up to all the colleges. And then that was after all of that stuff and that growth, then they started taking it to the masses. So little bets, little things along the way, a methodical approach to just doing a little bit at a time, getting good at the little bit you're doing, and then continuing to grow and building on those successes. So yeah, if you haven't read this book, Little Bets, highly suggest you pick it up. Super interesting read. The research and all the stuff, behind there gives you all the details. So go check it out. You can go to offlinesharks.com/books and you'll see it listed there.
So true though. I mean, your ability to put out fires, I guess, take in information, all those little things, like as you grow and you start off. I mean, it's like the number one thing you do each and every day, right? Analyzing and assessing information as it comes in and using that to keep moving forward or putting out fires. I mean, I can't tell you how many times a day that's like the number one thing that we're doing most, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and I mean, and the whole concept of that book really is what we tell you guys. I mean, like, we practice what we preach, right? Like, what we're advising you to do and what we're training you to do is based on these things that we see work, and that's what works, right? Like, that's why we tell everybody, when you're setting up an Agency Growth Machine site or you're doing something like that, like, don't, if you don't have any clients, don't try to start prospecting to everybody in the United States. Like, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Like, the resources required to do, like, I have to say it, just as we've been growing our business, I have gotten a way better appreciation for the amount of resources and effort it takes to do things on a big scale. And I think when people are new, I know I really underestimated what it took. And when you're trying to launch anything on a big scale like that, it takes massive resources and a team. And I mean, there's so many things that have to go to that. So, don't do that. Like, start small, get some success, get some cash flow. It's much easier to grow when you have cash flow. I can tell you that for sure. Much easier to grow.
It is. It really is. Cool. So,
all those things you worry about when you don't have cash flow are not that big of a deal when you have cash flow, because it's like you can always find some way to fix them. Somebody said that they thought you said, "What are we eating?" When you said, "What are we eating?" What are we?
And I saw Shan on here too. I don't know where he went, but how's it going, Shan? Oh, there he is. Boom.
Hey, aloha, Shan. Hey, okay, so one of the questions that I thought we could give away a t-shirt for, and it ties into something that we've been emailing about to our sharks the past day or so, is, okay, who can tell us the name of, so as do you guys know, most of you should know how I started my agency, the particular strategy I used. Can you guys tell me the name of the course we have on Offline Sharks that teaches that strategy? I'll show you one. This is what it looks like. Does anybody know the name of the course that teaches this strategy?
Why don't you tell us the value that you got from running that little strategy?
Oh man, yeah.
How much cash? How long did it take you?
So, well, when I did my first one, right, like I went out and filled it in 7 days, and that generated just around 7 grand in revenue, and that put 4 grand of profits in my pocket. So, and the thing was, like, I had no contacts in Kihei, no business contacts. I wasn't a thriving member of the business community. I was really starting from nothing. And now at the end of a week, I had 16 businesses that had given me money, starting to build a relationship with them. And I started doing those. And then I was able to piggyback off that, right? Like then start to offer them other services and things like that. So actually, if you want to hear a really good breakdown of how I did all that, make sure you check out Dave and Drew's podcast episode with me, because we talked about that in a lot of detail and they asked some great questions that got some good gold nuggets out of there. So their podcast is the Delicious Marketing Podcast.
So that strategy for all of you that are, because I see a lot, and I'll go back through the comments to pick out the first one that pops up for the winner of the name. But that strategy, just so you guys know, that's our course, Coupon Cash System Unleashed, right? It's normally $997. We're actually right now till the end of this evening, we're giving it away basically for $37. So
we are giving it away. Like if you, so our friend Bob Ross, a lot of you guys might know him, Jake. That's who I learned the idea from, right? And so I always pay attention to what he puts out, and he's got a great thing that's like, it's about how to do a directory style. So it's a different layout and design than what I just showed you guys. It's more of a directory thing, but it ties in so perfect with the directory websites that we do. But even if you don't have a directory website, you could still just do this postcard. And, like, again, Nick and I really have been like looking for what are the big opportunities that people can use to have success right now in the current environment. And this is one that I think is really big, because if you just started calling up businesses and saying like, hey, I'm going to send out a card just letting everybody know what businesses are still open, what you're doing, all that stuff, and you use this directory postcard layout, like you could do that really easy. That'd be a huge benefit to people. And then another strategy you could use, people talked about businesses that are closed, right? So why not start reaching out to some of those businesses and saying, hey, look, when things start to open back up, we need to be ready to go. Like, you need to get the word out ASAP that you're open and ready for business. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting together a co-op directory mailer thing that's going to go out, and we're going to list all the businesses, and I'm going to have them printed. I'm going to have them on standby. So the minute the quarantine gets lifted, I'm going to take them to the post office. They'll be in the mail the next day. Like, that's a huge value proposition as well. And I'm sure you could fill those things up. So yeah, so the directory postcard thing is what we've been mailing you guys about. And I would check that out. And then you get Coupon Cash System Unleashed for free.
So Lori is, she's actually in Kihei. So she just mentioned how everybody in the community that got the card, the mailer, she remembers everybody talking about it. And Lori, that's funny. It's interesting when you do one of these mailers.
Oh yeah, there you go. Can we post that in the chat, Cameron?
You'll see them around town. First of all, you'll get one in the mail, of course, if you live in the area you're mailing. But like, I remember walking into a tax, like a CPA's office, and they had all of the coupons cut out all over the table. I've been to different businesses where they have them like up on the refrigerator in the break room, and you see them everywhere. And it really, you got how many new customers off of that one mailing that you didn't have before?
16. And 16. By the way, 16 brand new clients had never had any contact with them before. And my continuing to do that postcard, my experience was more than half of them would re-up and do it again. So, I mean, that card that I just showed you guys, like this one that I just showed you, there's like 9 businesses. So there's 14 spaces on this one, but there's 9 businesses on here that are repeat buyers on the mailer. So, it's really great. And it's an awesome foot in the door thing. And and it works. Like, you mail those things out and people get results. And the minute you can bring in some leads, that's where the pizza place advertises on there that we always talk about. And they get like 300 something coupon. coupons every time I send out a mailer. So yeah, it's a really great strategy. And, you know, people always ask, like, what would you do if you had to start all over? That's what I would do.
Yeah. And I actually have, well, before I get into it, I don't want to, I do want to, let's scroll up to the very first person that got the name of the business or the strategy correct.
I think it was Kristen.
Yeah, I see Kristen. So Kristen, congratulations. You're the first to get it. We're going to, let's reach out to Kristen and get her we got some pink shark shirts too, for those of you that like pink. I might have to get one for you, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, Gabriel said he picked it up today just to get the bonus. Awesome. Thanks, Gabriel. Yeah. And you guys, when you pick up the offer, you should, I think there's a link that you click on and you can get your account set up for CCSU. So really awesome.
Yeah. So real quick, just before I get into this other segment, the way it works, right, is we're promoting this this directory mailer, which is another type of direct mail offer. Great system, great offer. Similar strategy with a different twist and a different spin. That's $37, and you get Coupon Cash System Unleashed, which is normally $9.97 for free if you purchase that. So 2 ways to look at it, right? One way is, you know, you get this $1,000 bonus by picking up this awesome product, or you get this $1,000 product for free or for $37.
Yeah,
a couple ways to look at it. Perspective.
It's a great deal. And Nikki was asking, like, can a brand new person with no marketing experience do this? Absolutely, Nikki. Like, it is like I mean, it's silly how simple it is, because all I did was I went in and just had a mock-up card made and laminated. And you don't even have, I mean, like, I'm not a great, like, I didn't do any fancy sales techniques. Like, I just walked in and said, look, this is what I'm doing. Here's the card I'm mailing out. This is how much it costs. It's going to go out to 10,000 people. And like, it's real straightforward. You don't have to try to convince them. Like, they'll see like instantly what's going on. So it's a really straightforward thing. And then it allows you to build up, you know, a relationship with people and then start to offer them other services and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw somebody was asking about the podcast episode. So it's not live yet. We just recorded it this morning for Drew and David, for their Delicious Marketing podcast. You can hear, like, I do talk about the mailer and how I did it and got started and all that stuff. And I think the very first episode of my podcast, What's the Secret? So if you're listening to that or subscribe to that, you can go check it out. I talk about how I started it and all that stuff. But yeah, you can see me with some of the cards, and you actually see the images there on the right. That's the directory card. So you can see it's a different design. It's got more of like, the businesses are just listed out. They don't have like actual ad spaces and stuff like that. So you can fit more businesses on a card, and it's more of a resource that people can hang on their refrigerator or leave around to be able to identify people. So I think doing something like that with, like, I mean, just think about if you just did restaurants, like, here's the restaurants that are open and you sent that card out, like, that'd be really great. Right. Yeah. So it's a really, I mean, it's a heck of a strategy. Like, it really, it just works. It's so evergreen. So
here's what we're going to do, you guys. First of all, the link is on the page, right? offlinesharks.com/FB-neighborhood. And it'll take you to this page right here where you get all the information. If you go to the bottom of the page, you'll see the information about CCSU. And then there's a link to purchase right here. And once you do that, you'll get an email with access to both products. And it closes tonight, 8 hours. We're late to this whole promotion. It was open for a few days already, so we just jumped in right at the last minute because we saw that it's a great offer. We love Bob and his students, and they're doing, you know, awesome stuff over there, and we love to promote that. So it's the reason we're promoting it too is it's a real world case study. It's something that somebody's actually doing, right? This guy's he's got I don't know how many mailers he's done. This is his picture on the right. But he has a full-time business just doing these. So this is real world strategy, right? The pricing on it, it's there, $37. We wanted to make it a no-brainer for you, CCSU. And here's how we're going to be doing this. So as a lot of you know, we're doing our We Deliver Maui website, right? So we're using AGM to build a huge list of restaurants here on Maui that are, still open and delivering or doing takeout. So we've been building this list. And now that we have all these businesses on a list, as we start to come out of this, this is going to be the first offer that we start to make to these people. So we're going to be able to send them one email. I'm sure we'll send a few, but through one email, right? We already have hundreds of restaurants on our email list. And now we can start to talk about how when we come out of the pandemic, we are going to send out a mailer to over 10,000 homes in our area with all of the restaurants that are trying to get back to market, with special offers to coupons to different deals and specials that they're going to be offering to get people back to their business as soon as the doors open. You can see how powerful that is, right? Because as soon as we get the green light and businesses are able to operate and people are going to, they can resume how they were, operating before. I mean, they're going to want to figure out ways and incentives to get people back in their businesses. And because we have this massive list, we have a nice creative way that we can offer to help them do that. So we're going to be able to monetize that tremendously, take advantage of our list, build our audience, because 10,000 homes are now going to get this mailer that has our branding, our business name on it. People reach out to get on the next mailer all the time. They want to know about the business that's operating this huge thing. So maybe you could speak to that a little bit, Tom.
Yeah, well, a couple of things. So first off, I see people asking about the bonus access. So I know that Jake used a way to process the payments. And so I'm not really sure where. I know the bonus, there's a link to be delivered through his purchase system. But if you guys didn't get that link or you can't find it, just send your receipt. Go to offlinesharks.com/support. Just submit a ticket with your receipt, and we'll get you the link to the bonus page so that you can get your account all set up. So if you didn't see the bonus or you don't know where it's at or anything like that, our team will help you do that. So just go to offlinesharks.com/support. There's a I think you have to go up to the top, right, Nick, and click that button to contact, and then you just put claiming a bonus. Make sure you attach your receipt, and then our team will get you access to the bonus right away. So that's that. So yeah, so to Nick's point about when you send the mailers out, so when you send these things out, it always drums up new business. Yeah, so if you go up to contact us in the upper right corner, you click that, and then one of your options is claim a bonus. So just go down and click claim a bonus and send us your receipt. So every time I do a mailer, I always get a flurry of calls from people because they get it and they're like, what is this? How do I get on this? I didn't know about this, right? Like, I have a business, I'm starting a business, whatever. So, you're getting paid. Like, it's so great because it's like you get paid not only to put everything together, but you get paid to prospect, right? Like, it's actually a really great lead generation thing, and it brings value to the community. And what I mean by you get paid to put it together is you do not get any design work or printing or pay any postage. The design work, I guess you have that done before, but we don't spend any money until we've collected all the money from everyone that's going to be on the mailer. So the first thing we do is we go around, we tell businesses what we're doing, we tell them the cost, we get a deposit. I did 50% up front. When I got that deposit money in, that's what I used to pay my designer. So I hired a designer. Inside the CCSU course, we've got some links to different designers that we've used that you can use. You can find somebody yourself. They put everything together for me, right? There's also, in the course you'll get from Bob, in Grant's course, you get like templates and everything. You can just I didn't do any of the design work. I'm not a designer. I gave those templates. I give my templates to my designers and let them do all the hard work. I don't want to mess with that. So you can use those templates, give them to your designer. So you collect money, you hire a designer. Now you finish filling up your card. Then once you've filled up the card, all the ads, the design's complete, you send it out to everybody for approval, and that's when you collect the remainder of the money. So now we collect the other 50% from everyone. Once we've collected that money, now we send the card to the printer. And then when the card comes back from the printer, we pay the postage and have it shipped. So, you know, you can take them to the post office yourself, or you can actually have your printer mail them for you as well. We have a link inside CCSU for Mid-Michigan mailers. They can do the printing and they can also do the mailing. So, and a couple of other resources too. So it's really like you can be more hands-on with it or more hands-off with it. I mean, the first one I did, I ordered them and then I bundled them myself, which was like not good. Don't do that. But yeah, so you don't even have, you know, you don't have to come up with the money first, right? Like this is our favorite way to do business. Get the money from the clients, then use the money for fulfillment. Like we do that in a lot of things. So,
we're actually writing a book on this, just so you guys know.
We are.
We're writing a book on this exact strategy because it's how we've built our businesses to where they're at.
Yeah.
Couple of questions. So if you guys have bought this from Jake, then you've bought it from Jake. If you guys want our product, you know.
I don't think bought is a word.
Huh?
I don't think bought is a word.
Purchase this? Sorry.
If you purchase this from Jake. Yeah.
For those of you that don't like my speaking abilities, you can thank the Hawaii public school system. We actually speak in Pidgin English, and I don't think you guys want me to speak in that because then you probably wouldn't understand.
I've always wanted you to talk about something in Pidgin.
I won't do it. This is my King James English that I'm working on.
Listen, bro, you got to get the kind right now.
No. Anyway, our bonus is delivered to anybody who purchases through our link. It's not you can't buy it somewhere else and then get our bonus. So, you know, if you guys want CCSU, that's why I said, like, there's a perspective to it, right? Like, I would look at it as getting this $997 course for $37. The other course is really just a bonus. The other one's just a bonus. This one, $37, that's a bonus. So a couple of ways to look at it. Somebody said, there's another one that said, I want to buy it, but don't have PayPal. So Marty, we're not the ones that are actually managing the cart. If you don't have PayPal.
One thing you could do, Marty, is if you just reach out to Jake, and let me give you his email is it's itsbobross@gmail.com.
There you go. Send him an email. He might be able to hook you up with a credit card link. And then if he does, he'll tell us that you just let him know you want to purchase through Offline Sharks, and then we'll make sure you get your bonus. He'll tell us. Let's see. So I do want to recap real quick because we're a little bit over on our time, but because I know so many of you have been following along with We Deliver Maui, right? The whole thing, the whole strategy, the whole thought process behind that is really to, you know, we have this community resource set up and we have all the businesses that are open in our area, right? We haven't been monetizing this yet unless they ask us to help them with other products and services. But as we come out of this, we have this huge list, right? Like if I go into the back end of my website, like you see all these listings here, right? These are all businesses that are already in my site. But now if I go to the listing section, I can export that entire list, right? CSV export. I have that huge list of all those businesses. These are all restaurants who we've either emailed or contacted and let them know what we're doing. And now I can, I can let them know that we're going to be putting out this 10,000 piece mailer in our area to help promote their business. And it costs them $500 to mail 10,000 homes and put their offer in front of that many people. So for them, it's a no-brainer, right? They're going to give you $500 so you can send out 10,000 pieces of marketing for them. It's a co-op mailer. Normally for them, it would cost them thousands of dollars to reach 10,000 people. But because we have all of these businesses on the card, they split the cost. And since we're going to niche down and do a restaurant card, I mean, everybody's going to love that, right? Everybody's going to love having one card for all the deals on all the restaurants in your area. I mean, that's a solid resource right there, because now everybody's going to be able to save some money. They're going to be able to go to their restaurants. The restaurants are going to get more business to their doors. They're going to love you for it. They're going to ask you, what else can you do for me? And that's the whole strategy in a nutshell, like how it works and how we're going to be using it and how you guys should be doing it too, especially if you have an AGM site and you're doing the restaurant thing. Like, this is a great way to come back to the market, monetize the whole thing, and you can do it for, get the whole system for $37.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point about the looking at this from the people that you're approaching about doing these mailers. And one of the big things that holds people back from doing direct mail is the cost, right? Because just postage. If a business owner wanted to send 10,000 pieces out themselves, even if they knew how to get discounted postage, that would still be like $1,800 for them to send just for the postage. And that doesn't count that they have to have 10,000 things printed, that they have to have it designed. One of the great things about this is you take care of all that stuff, plus their cost is like super, super low. So it's really, really a great value proposition for them. And what has happened for me here in Kihei is like, if somebody goes, this is great. If somebody goes down to the local post office and they ask them about every door direct mail, which is a thing we have here in America that allows you to send these types of cards out at a lower rate, they give them my business card at the post office, because the post office, all they can do is mail those things. They can't print them, design them, do any of that stuff. So they now give anybody that asks my business card and they say, call this guy. He knows how to do this. And they call me. So, I mean, that's like a really great setup. And if you're not in the United States, if you're somewhere else, like, you can still do this method. The only thing you have to do is you have to adjust your pricing a little based on what it's going to cost you to print. So it's very flexible, right? So just remember that, like, if whatever it would cost a business, if you're in the UK, whatever it would cost a business in the UK to send out 10,000 pieces of mail, like, you're going to be able to do that at a significant discount. So you may need to charge more than $500 a space or whatever it is that you decide to charge, but you can adjust your pricing based on your costs. So you just look at what your costs are going to be to have it printed and mailed, and then you can figure out how much you need to charge. We actually have a little Excel spreadsheet inside CCSU that you can just put in, like, you can just put in numbers. Like, if I charge, $300 for an ad space, how much will I make? And yeah, and Canada does have something similar to Every Door Direct Mail. I know the UK, there's inside CCSU, there's some options for people that aren't in the US, because we get that question. So we put some links and stuff in there. So yeah, Walter, I do mine quarterly now. I used to do them a lot more often. When I was first getting started, I did them as frequently as possible. So every 30 to 60 days. But now that I've been able to kind of grow my agency and I don't have to do them that often, I do them a lot less frequently. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, Nick, you're freezing up. Oh, Nick. Oh, I think we lost Nick. You guys can all still hear me though, right? I don't know if it's me or if it's Nick. Oh, Jack says, I think he can hear me. Nick, I think it's on your end that we're freezing up. Okay, cool. You can hear me, but we can't hear Nick. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. So look, yeah. So, hey, aloha, Garrick. So Garrick is on the island of Oahu, and he's one of our private coaching students. Awesome. Good to see you here, Garrick. Great call yesterday, by the way. So yeah, so look, guys, this is really, it's a great offer. We wanted to really over deliver for you guys, especially in this kind of current environment. So if you want to take us up on this offer, if you want to get CCSU, at no cost. Just head over to offlinesharks.com/FB-neighborhood. The link's on the screen. I highly recommend this. Again, if I had to start all over, this is the type of thing I would do, because it's a really fast, evergreen way to get a group of clients in and get moving forward. And this is it's a great product Bob and Grant put together. And of course, you get this awesome bonus from us Sharks. So awesome, guys. Well, look, I know we went a little over today. So if you haven't jumped in, head over, pick this up. It's a great offer. It's a great little deal. And I want everybody out there to be safe, practice aloha, and we'll see you guys later. Aloha, everybody.